It feels good to have you back on Frank Speaks. If you're an old subscriber, if this is your first time, welcome to Frank Speaks as well. Now, today's discussion, we are going to focus on the arrest and prosecution of Hushpuppi. And this is the part 3 of this very video. There is already a part 1 and part 2 existing on this same channel as well. So you can go watch it, come back on this one so that you can also be up to speed. But if you're already up to speed with this very story, you are a legend. Sit tight, let's get into it. Now we want to look at his arrest and prosecution. The Dubai police explained why popular Nigerian Instagram celebrity Hushpuppi was arrested on June 10th of 2020. UAE's online newspaper, The National, reported in the same day that he was arrested on multiple fraud charges along with 12 other accomplices. The paper also revealed his real name as Raymond Abbas and his age as 38 years as at that time. His case was referred to as Dubai Public Prosecution, and as at that time he was being questioned by prosecutors at the Bur Dubai section, the paper reported. The prosecutors have charged him for obtaining money from others through fraudulent means, the paper said. According to the National, security officers in UAE arrested Hushpuppi and 12 others against widespread belief that it was Interpol that carried out the operation. The Google account of Raymond Abbas, better known as Hushpuppi, was one of the things that made it easy for the Federal Bureau of Investigation to track him, according to a document seen by the cables. According to FBI, an analysis of the iPhone and online account belonging to co-conspirator 1 showed that messages were exchanged with Hushpuppi requesting accounts into which funds released from the money laundering schemes could be sent to. Based on records from Instagram received in June of 2020, the Instagram account was subscribed with the name Ray, the email address rayhushpuppi@gmail.com, and a verified phone number, the document read. The Instagram account was created on October 10th of 2012, and recent account history from 2020 showed logins from Internet Protocol IP address located in UAE 2. Abbas lived in UAE based on information from his email and social media accounts, financial records, and internet research. Based on subscriber records from Snap, the Snapchat account Hushpuppi5 used phone number 3 and the email address hushpuppi@gmail.com, the same email address as the Instagram account. The Snapchat account used the displayed name Billionaire Gucci Master, which was the same Snapchat account name saved in co-conspirator 1's phone for the Snapchat account Hushpuppi5. The document also gave details of record from Apple account as well as his Gmail account, which showed the invoice, tenancy contract, flight document, Dubai visa, Nigerian passports, among other documents, all directly linked to Abbas. Details of the conversation between the suspects were also revealed. On February 12th of 2019, co-conspirator 1, Abbas, wire is complete. We did it, 5k euros, should be on your side by now. In the conversation that followed, co-conspirator 1 reportedly told Abbas that there was only one wire to the account in Romania. Sender name, Typico Group Limited, country, foreign financial institution, amount 500k euro. It's there now. My other crew confirmed it there as well. Later, while trying to figure out whether the wire had been successful, co-conspirator 1 was said to have added, "They did me 3 wires, 2 to Euro, 1 to US. Bank it came from is foreign financial institution." The document added that the sender wrote, "Brother, we still have access and they didn't realize we're going to shut again tomorrow AM." They sent out later from email addresses almost identical to those of legitimate companies, targeting customers of these companies with the purpose to diverting payments to themselves, said a senior prosecutor quoted by the paper. Initial information includes that he was part of this gang which fraudulently obtained cash and cars from people. His statement was taken by prosecution, but at that time, that was just the beginning of the prosecution and investigation. The paper also reported was wanted for fraud crimes in Europe, the United States, and Nigeria. The 38-year-old has over 2 million followers on Instagram, where he is famed for displaying wealth and luxury of life. 2 suspected Nigerian internet fraudsters, Raymond Abbas, Olalekon, also known as Woodbury, were extradited to the United States, the official said as at the time of filing that very report. The Dubai police disclosed this very information on X, formerly known as Twitter, on the same day. Hushpuppi and Woodbury were arrested in the United Arab Emirates on the 10th of June for multiple fraud charges as a raid by operatives of Dubai crime unit titled Fox Hunt 2. The Dubai police had also released a video detailing how the arrest was effective. It was revealed in the video that Hushpuppi had defrauded thousands of victims of 168 billion naira. The police also said they recovered 150 million dirhams in cash, that is 16 billion naira, during the coordinated raids. According to the statement, the Director of Federal Bureau of Investigation (FBI), Christopher Ware, thanks the Dubai authority for their cooperation in arresting and extraditing the suspects. Mr. Christopher said FBI thanks Dubai for arresting and extraditing Hushpuppi and Woodbury, the statement revealed. The Director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation (FBI), Christopher, has praised the exceptional efforts extended by the United Arab Emirates, represented by Dubai Police General Headquarters, in combating transnational organized cybercrime, including the recent arrest of Raymond Abbas, known as Hushpuppi, and Woodbury, who were taken down in Operation Fox Hunt 2. The suspects were caught in a series of synchronized raids by 6 SWAT teams from Dubai, who foiled the gang's bid to deceive many people from around the world and steal their money, the statement said. The director of Dubai CIA, Jamal Salem Al-Jafal, said the raid resulted in confiscating incriminating documents of a planned fraud on a global scale worth $435 million. The team also seized more than $40.9 million in cash, 13 luxury cars with an estimated value of $6.8 million obtained from fraud crimes, and confiscated 21 computer devices, 47 smartphones, 15 memory sticks, 5 hard disks containing 119,580 fraud files, as well as addresses of 1,926,400 victims, he said. After conducting further investigation and analyzing confiscated electronic devices, Dubai police investigators uncovered sensitive information mined by the suspect on individuals and companies overseas, including bank accounts, fake credit cards, as well as documents and files containing the gang's illegal activities. Hushpuppi joins a list of high-profile Nigerians to be arrested in 2020 as at the time of the arrest. He was arrested months after several other Nigerians, including Obiwanne Okeke and Ismaila Monfa, who were arrested in August and October of 2019 respectively for their alleged roles in separate multinational fraud. Hushpuppi, who has over 2 million followers on Instagram, is known for his display of luxury on social media. In the wake of his arrest, sources had told the Premium Times about the custody battle for him between Nigeria and US officials. In July 5th of 2022, the US Central District Court in California also postponed sentencing of the Nigerian Instagram celebrity Raymond Abbas, popularly known as Hushpuppi, for the multi-million-dollar fraud charges he has pleaded guilty to. Judge Otis Wright fixed September 21st as the new sentencing date. At the request of counsel, the sentencing contained to 9/21/2022 at 1:30 p.m. before Judge Otis D. Wright II. As to defendant Raymond Abbas, the court's announcement made June 24th reads, the sentencing hearing was initially moved by Judge Wright from February 14th to July 11th, has now been moved to September 21st at the counsel's request. Mr. Abbas, in July of 2021, agreed to plead guilty to the multiple dollar fraud charges filed against him by the United States government. He was in custody since his arrest in Dubai and rendered to the US in June of 2020. After initially maintaining his innocence, Mr. Abbas made a volte-face, entering into a plea bargain agreement with the US government in July of 2021. In the hope of getting a lighter punishment, he pleaded guilty to count 2, which is conspiracy to engage in money laundering, an offense that attracts a maximum sentence of 20 years imprisonment. Among other punishments, including full restitution, his plea agreement with the US government states in part, despite pleading guilty, Mr. Abbas would not be exempted from paying a restitution. Defendants understand that the defendant will be required to pay full restitution to the victims of the offense to which the defendant is pleading guilty. Defendant agrees that in return for the USAOS compliance with its obligations under this agreement, the courts may order restitution to persons other than the victims of the offenses to which defendant is pleading guilty and in amounts greater than those alleged in the count to which defendant is pleading guilty. The plea agreement seen by the Premium Times in July of 2021 reads, the exact sentence to be imposed on Mr. Abbas, as at that time, was unknown. However, provided Mr. Abbas' demonstration and acceptance of responsibility for the offense up to and including the time of sentencing, the prosecution said it recommended 2-level reduction in applicable sentencing guidance offense level. If necessary, the prosecution adds it may move for an additional 1-level reduction, if any, available under that very section. Not being an American citizen, he will be deported after completing his jail term and paying up the amount to be restituted. The maximum penalty for the offense, which Mr. Abbas hoped before his sentencing would be reduced, includes 20 years imprisonment, 3-year period of supervised release, a fine of $500,000, and twice the gross gain or gross loss resulting from the offense, whichever is greater, and mandatory special assignment of $100. A 40-year-old Nigerian was sentenced by the United States District Judge Otis D. Wright II, who also ordered Abbas to pay $1,732,841 million in restitution to 2 fraud victims. Abbas pleaded guilty in April of 2021 to 1 count of conspiracy to engage in money laundering. This, as reported by United States Attorney's Office, Central District of California. In June of 2020, Abbas pleaded guilty in April of 2021 to 1 count of conspiracy to engage in money laundering. He was arrested in Dubai, United Arab Emirates in June of 2020 and has remained in federal custody since his expulsion from the UAE. Abbas bragged on social media about his lavish lifestyle, a lifestyle funded by his involvement in transactional fraud and money laundering conspiracies targeting victims around the world, said United States Attorney Martin Estrada. Money laundering and business email compromise scams are massive international crime problem, and we will continue to work with our law enforcement and international partners to identify and prosecute those involved wherever they may be. Raymond Abbas, aka Hushpuppi, targeted both Americans and international victims, becoming one of the most prolific money launderers in the world, said Don Ali, the assistant district in charge of the FBI's LA field office. Abbas leveraged his social media platform, where he amassed a considerable following, to gain notoriety and has bragged about the immense wealth he acquired by conducting business email compromise scams, online bank heists, and other cyber-enabled fraud that financially ruined scores of victims and provided assistance to the Northern Korea regime. This significant sentence is a result of years' wealth of collaboration among law enforcement in multiple countries and should send a clear warning to international fraudsters that the FBI will seek justice for victims regardless of where crime operates within or outside United States borders. Abbas conspired with Alomari, who was 37 as at the time of the arrest, a Canadian citizen, a convicted money launderer, to launder funds derived from various crimes, including bank cyber heist, business email compromise, and other online frauds. In January 2019, Abbas compromised with Alomari to launder funds stolen from a bank in Malta by providing account information for banks in Romania and Bulgaria. The United States has charged North Korean hackers with committing the bank cyber heist in Malta and alleged that those funds were destined for the North Korean government. Abbas has admitted that the intended loss with respect to the Malta bank was approximately $14.7 million. In May of 2019, Abbas conspired with Alomari to launder millions of stolen funds from a professional soccer club in the United Kingdom as well as British company. In connection with that scheme, Abbas provided Alomari with details for a bank account in Mexico that could handle millions and not blocked, according to court documents. Abbas also fraudulently included a New York-based law firm in October of 2019 to transfer approximately $922,857 to an account that a co-conspirator controlled under someone else's name. Alomari was charged separately and pleaded guilty in November of 2020 to 1 count of conspiracy to engage in money laundering. he is serving a 140-month federal prison sentence and was charged to pay more than $30 million in restitution. Abbas also admitted in his plea agreement to conspiring with others to defraud an individual in Qatar who sought a loan of $15 million to build a school. At the hearing, Judge Wright ordered Abbas to pay $922,857 in restitution to the law firm and $809,983 in restitution to the business person in Qatar. Abbas and other co-conspirators duped the victim business person into paying approximately $330,000 to fund an investor's account to facilitate the loan. Abbas specifically directed the victim to send $100,000 to a bank account controlled by a co-conspirator and $230,000 to the bank account of a luxury watch seller. Abbas used those funds for his personal benefits, including purchasing a $230,000 Richard Mille watch, which he arranged to have brought to him from New York to Dubai. The watch made a numerous appearance on Abbas' wrist on his now closed Instagram account, often with the hashtag Richard Mille. Approximately $50,000 of proceeds from the scheme were used to fraudulently acquire a St. Christopher and Nevis citizenships, a passport for Abbas through a sham marriage to a St. Kitts citizen. In January and February of 2020, Abbas and other conspirators corresponded with the victim's businessman, attempting to fraudulently induce a further payment of $557,000 in purported tax to release $15 million loan. In February of 2020, the victim sent approximately $299,883,000 to Kenyan bank account specified by another conspirator. In March of 2020, Abbas fraudulently induced the victim to send another $180,000 to US-based bank accounts. Those funds were subsequently laundered with assistance from several co-conspirators. By his own admission, during just an 18-month period, defendant conspired to launder over $300 million, prosecutors wrote in a sentencing memorandum, which much of these intended loss did not ultimately materialize. Abbas' willingness and ability to participate in large-scale money laundering highlights the seriousness of his criminal conduct. The FBI investigated this matter as part of Operation Top Dog. The FBI thanks the government of the United Arab Emirates and the Dubai Police Department for their substantial assistance in this very matter. Assistant United States Attorney Hushpuppi of the Cyber and Intellectual Property Criminal Sentence prosecuted this case. The Justice Department Criminal Division's Office of International Affairs provided substantial assistance in this very matter. What I just read out to you is a report and a filed document by the United States Attorney's Office in Central District of California. Currently, Abbas is serving an 11 years in federal prison for conspiring to launder tens of millions of dollars from online schemes. Thank you so much for watching this very video, and hopefully this gets to be the last part of this document. Hopefully, if there will be a part 4, I will notify you on the next video. Thank you so much for watching. This is Frank Speaks. Remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell before leaving this very channel.